Here's what you can do to protect yourself. Eliminate standing water where mosquitoes can breed. Use insect repellent. And stay covered up. It's all because of petropolitics. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has held down its prices to dampen production in other countries. Metro riders on the Red Line should plan some extra time for their commute. A 9-month construction project starts today, and delays could last up to an hour. Puppies Assisting Wounded Service Members, or PAWS, is a 5-year pilot program. Clear water doesn't necessarily mean safe to use. According to the Center for Disease Control, just because you see water with no color in places like public restrooms doesn't mean there's no lead present. Thank you, Lindsay. Well, just this morning, Syracuse University released a 40-page document. A company must offer to buy back most of the affected vehicles or terminate their leases. Now, a change in ICE policy would mean changes for local law enforcement, including costs. But Congressman King says that there are bigger goals to keep in mind. Just last week, Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, shared his concerns about the spread of Zika in the U.S.
So one of the issues that we're very concerned about is to make sure these unusual local transmitted cases, like the 2 we have in Florida now, don't become sustained and disseminated. Because if that's the case, then we have a problem of many, many more people getting infected.
This week, there are reports that health officials are investigating a new case of the Zika virus that is believed to be transmitted locally in Florida. Fauci says this needs to be addressed immediately.
That we have a global public health reserve fund. Sometimes when you have an emergency, you need to just take the money and do what you need to do with it.
Here's what you can do to protect yourself. Eliminate standing water where mosquitoes can breed. Use insect repellent. And stay covered up.
We, the global community, is not going to be able to prevent all emerging infections. What we can do is respond in a much more timely way.
Fauci says he does not think we will face an epidemic, but urges Congress to make this issue a priority once it comes back from its summer recess. Lauren Melendez, ABC 9 News, Washington, D.C.
Last 2 years, I've had 4 attempts.
It was post-traumatic stress disorder that led Chris Farrell to try to end his life.
You just don't want to be here anymore.
Chris does get therapy, but he wants a service dog to bridge the gaps that counseling doesn't address.
It's amazing what these animals can do for you. They help you take you out of that dark place.
Training service dogs is not cheap, but there may be an option for veterans that is actually cost-free. Puppies Assisting Wounded Service Members, or PAWS, is a 5-year pilot program that will provide service dogs for those who have served after 9/11 in Iraq and Afghanistan.
There are visible wounds that our men and women have, but also invisible wounds, and we need to be aware of that. We need to recognize it.
Chris Farrell carries those wounds.
You get tired of it, and then you start thinking that you're a burden to everyone else around you.
Under Senator Fisher's bill, eligible veterans and their dogs would get extra benefits.
Provide for the veterinary services and also for checkups to make sure that these veterans do need these dogs, and also the dogs are performing the way that they should.
A special kind of ongoing support.
Just because you come home doesn't mean the war actually ends. And once you get back, home just isn't really home anymore.
Lauren Melendez, ABC 9 News, Washington, D.C.
I mainly want to do it so that way I can eat. I like the eating step.
I made lemon pepper chicken, roasted broccoli, sweet potatoes.
56 aspiring young chefs and their parents were guests at the White House. On the menu, some of the winning dishes from the 5th annual Healthy Lunchtime Challenge.
We got our mid-spring rolls.
First Lady Michelle Obama was impressed.
You should be very proud of yourselves. You earned these spots at these tables. Pretty cool.
The event hosted inside the White House serves up a tasty opportunity for kids to promote healthy eating for other youth.
For me, the best part of healthy eating is creating fun, healthy dishes from cucumbers, okra, tomatoes.
Recipes included refreshing watermelon salad, sweet and savory chicken and peaches, and Lola Shorney's creation, American Gothic calzones.
Kind of garlicky, but it's also it tastes a little bit like spinach, and you can kind of taste the applesauce, and it's all over the place. It's very delicious.
And in a room full of so many tasty foods, there was less talking, more eating.
You guys just hit it out of the park.
A home run for these young chefs. Lauren Melendez, ABC 9 News, Washington, D.C. Surprises at the pump. Gas prices at their lowest level in 12 years.
It's nice to be able to gas up without having, heartburn.
According to the American Automobile Association, U.S. drivers are paying the lowest gas prices for this time of year since 2004, even though it's the busiest time to travel.
There's just more oil supplies than there is demand. So there's a glut of crude oil around the world that's brought down oil prices, and it's made the gasoline at the pumps a lot cheaper for consumers everywhere.
It's all because of petropolitics. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has held down its prices to dampen production in other countries. In other words, they keep their prices low to hurt the competition.
Even in Iowa today, there's quite a few stations where gas can be found for just $1.80 something. And that would have been unheard of just a couple years ago, back when everyone was paying really close to $4 per gallon.
And while low gas prices could mean job cuts for some, the American Petroleum Institute says it won't hurt the economy.
People, I think, who are in the industry should feel good that this is an industry that's not going anywhere.
Here's why.
We're still going to be providing heat for homes, gasoline to get you to work and get your kids to school. That's not going to stop.
And the low gas prices are expected to hold at least through the end of summer. Lauren Melendez, ABC 9 News, Washington, D.C.